Welcome into DC On Screen, episode 341. I am your host, David C. Robertson. I believe I have contracted a virulent strain of Kryptonian malaria. So, forgive me. This is my co-host, Jason Goss.
Hey! I'm going to take over some recaps this week.
Yeah, we're doing Legends of Tomorrow, 214, Moonshot, and take it away, Jason.
The Legends track Commander Steele to Houston, where he's helping with the infamous Apollo 13 mission. They quickly realize that Eobard Thawne has taken over the craft and is trying to retrieve the piece of hidden spear and the American flag that's still left on the moon. Sara and the Waverider manage to rescue the Apollo crew members, but Ray and Eobard have to team up to get their piece of the ship off the moon while Victor distracts Houston with a song. With everyone back on the Waverider and the Apollo crew back on course, the depleted Waverider manages to get back to Earth, but only after trusting Eobard's fancy future space math and the sacrifice of Commander Steele's life. Eobard escapes to fight another day, and Vixen, after a tussle with Nate, looks up her family's future. Also, somewhere in there, Rip, gets his balls handed to him over and over again.
I liked that Sara is the captain of the ship still.
I did. It was kind of funny to watch her just, be the first to speak over and over again. And you kept seeing that poor look on Rip's face, like, oh, I miss that being me almost. But I think it really sunk in when Steele gives him that little jab about and I want to commend your, how do you put it? I want to commend you. I've never seen this crew work so well together. It's not my compliment.
Yeah, he's like, you really pulled this team together. He's like,
Yeah. I was watching that and went, oh.
Yeah.
And then they get to the end
Rip's
there.
Rip's a pompous piece of crap, dude. He is.
He can be.
I like Arthur Darvill, but I am not a huge fan of the character of Rip Hunter. He's not a great dude.
I like Rip. I like his bravado. I like him being there. Now, and I liked, they're talking at the end, and, Rip and Sara, she comes in, there's a nice little conversation about, are you moping, or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, Rip kind of officially says, this is your ship, and, just don't know what I'm doing anymore with it. And she brings up, the line about misfits and all that stuff, quote stuff from, the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
It was a neat moment. I didn't bother writing it down, but it was a neat moment where she kind of, demands that he may not be in charge anymore, but he still belongs on this ship. Thought, okay, cool. That's a cool arc.
Yeah.
I really like that I really like that Still hid the thing in the flag in the moon.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool. that was just great.
Well, my favorite part of this episode was the opening. Seriously, you idiots haven't figured this out yet?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love when Mick does the intro.
Mick doing the intro is pretty great. I did. I got a laugh early on. They come in. It's actually a well shot scene where Rip leaves, Rip and Still leave in the foreground, and Rip and the rest of the team appear in the background on the same set of steps. Rip leaves in the foreground, and Still vanishes in the background and all that. Anyway, it was a well shot scene. I thought everyone just appearing in the same space and time, but kind of seamlessly. But they go into how Vixen says he knows 7 languages, and he can disappear into anything. And when they track him down, he's like, yeah, he disappeared and became an astronaut. The most high-profile job you could get in the 60s.
Yeah, he was at Mission Control. Was he really an astronaut?
Well, he made it to the moon to plant a flag. I assumed he was Apollo 11, on Apollo 11 and planting a flag.
I thought he just had them do it.
Maybe just put it in the flag. I don't know. Maybe it's just Mission Control. I just thought that's a pretty high-profile job, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
So, a couple of things, we were talking about last episode with the Flash, how Cisco could create so much stuff, and I'm sure he could find a way to do it where it wouldn't, anything could be made into a weapon. He could be rich and be helping the world. I didn't go into the helping the world, but it fits, and it works, and it's true. And we have Eobard here telling Ray, look, dude, you could use the Dwarf Star to power an entire city. Instead, you do this crap. Yeah.
That was a good dig, too, man.
And it makes me feel like none of these people are actually worth their salt. It made me feel like, dude, why are you using these things to, be superheroes? You could help humanity so much more in other ways.
No, that was completely Eobard's point during that scene, is you and I aren't too different.
Know.
And I kind of got done with the scene and thought, shit, Ray's a selfish asshole. Damn it. I've got no rebuttal here.
Yeah. I dug Eobard. We've seen him do some really bad things.
The whole episode he absolutely killed. I loved him. He was my favorite part.
I've met history's monsters, Raymond. I'm not one of them.
Yeah. That was great. Even the logic to get Ray to let him loose to help is, if I'm lying, we're both dead. Well, shit. Okay. I mean, you got to go with that. Or here's my favorite line maybe in the entire episode this week. Without being prompted, 38 degrees. Well, you don't even know what I was going to ask. You're going to ask about what angle the ship needs to descend. Like, Ray walks in. I love the freaking bravado of that 38 degrees. I just smiled.
Yeah, that was good.
It was. And even Nate and Ray's little, Ray and Eobard's little confrontation at the end was still pretty good.
Mm-hmm. The episode had some surprisingly good things in it. I rewatched that whole scene probably 3 or 4 times with Stein and Mick singing in the middle of Mission Control.
Did you enjoy that?
I thought it was hilarious. Like, it cracked me up.
Okay. I had this moment where I thought, well, the show's dead.
Oh, I had that moment too, man. Like, it was like a simultaneous like jumping of the shark, as well as like maybe the most delightful thing I've seen on the show in a long time.
The thing was, I was watching it going, okay, I'm not giggling, but this isn't my thing. Well, actually, my first thought was, I guess Victor's getting the musical crossover started early.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was for me. It was like he jumps up and starts doing it. And I'm like, oh man, and like it keeps.
He
going.
does commit so thoroughly that like you want to laugh with it. I just kept like my jaw was just on the ground the whole time. I mean, I laughed a little when Mick finally pitched in with him, like confused.
Yeah.
Did I come?
But and when he just like he just keeps going, and when he gets to like, there's a shot where everyone is just on their feet, looking confused, and there's like they shoot to one guy who's just thoroughly delighted
almost
by the
dancing
entire
with
thing.
it. Yeah. But I felt like
Stein
when
just
they
keeps
showed
going.
that, I was like, "Yep, that's pretty much how this is going to go over." One guy in the room is going to laugh at this; everyone else is going to stare.
I don't know, man. It just went. It was one of those where it was like it was a bad joke, but it went on so long that it made it funny for me.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. That's fine. I just
I had to go back and be like, wait a minute.
Oh, you didn't have to go back. You just had to wait to the credits. They were so proud of it they put it over the credits.
Well, I didn't know that at the time.
I did laugh when I saw him doing the credits, and I went, "They're this proud of that moment." Oh my god!
And I think maybe I even laughed because I saw it and thought Jason's gonna hate this.
I kind of did. Now, not to say that what's his name, Garber didn't have a wonderful time filming that, because it looked like he was really enjoying himself. And I mean, I did, if it was for nothing else, it was worth the one good Mick line this week. You have a wonderful singing voice, Professor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like the most admiration he's had in his voice for Stein in the entire series, with absolutely no holding back. There was nothing snarky in that. It was just a simple compliment.
Yeah. But that's a good transition into the things that I hated in the episode.
Well, I'll get right to something in that scene that is bizarre to me. Is they've got this entire room of scientists. I mean, we've got several minutes here. Room full of probably Ivy League students. And the one guy's just on his radio, just listening to silence, going, "I don't know, he's dead. It's just, the sounds won't come in." And no one thinks to go check like the circuit board that Jack's found in like 5 seconds. I mean, he's clearly down the freaking hall. Like, it doesn't seem like he, ran off to the other side of the facility and made that they wouldn't have time to get over there and check him. Seems like he ran a couple hallways over, found a circuit board somewhere, and managed to untwist the right thing. Like,
yeah, there were so many other problems though that I didn't even think about that one. That's a good call.
Well, get into your problems then.
Well, if we could refrain from having the Waverider sound like an old jalopy conking out at any given time, it's understandable that the video effects are going to look awful sometimes. I understand. You guys have a budget. You guys have tight time constraints. I understand. But throwing in a it's just awful. Stop. They've done it before, and it's annoying. It's awful.
Not digging that sound effect?
No, not for a time machine that is also a spaceship. Not at all. It is the stupidest thing ever. I'm all for the show being fun, but that's not fun. That's stupid.
No.
Commander Haywood's sacrifice was stupid. It was Pa Ken and Man of Steel all over again. It was like, dude, you have an offspring standing right there who could withstand the Force. All you have to do is grab onto a thing. You don't have to go flying out of the chute. And, I understand that, like, well, he can't go back. He can't, like, he thought he was going to be able to go back and, live his life for some reason or another, and then realize that he couldn't because it would destroy the timeline. And
no, I mean, I get that he had no real reason to go back. That's fine. Except he could have actually met his son if he had hung in there, because that was actually pretty cool, rigging the essay contest. Yeah, he could have actually met his son, but I get the whole, like, I gave up 14 years of my life and I'll never get him back, and now I can't change the timeline because Vixen clued me in on what happens, and blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
My only question is, does still need to breathe? Because they hadn't entered yet. Like Commander, and by the way, he couldn't just, like, hang on to something. Like, when you're out in space, like, you can hang on to something if you want to, but you're still, the atmosphere goes to zero. It's like, your organs are still going to, like, seize up on you. You're dead. If the hatch is open, you're dead.
Well, yeah, but we've seen he and Raymond, or he and the Atom, or whatever you want to call him,
mm-hmm.
They've punched each other through the hull of the ship that flew out into space before.
Well, they've flown out
because he was steeled up.
No, they've flown out when they were in time vortexes, not when they were in space.
No, okay. I guess that matters.
Apparently that matters. But this is just like re-entering space. So what realistically happened to Still's body in this moment is, like, he goes out into space, he decompresses, he suffocates, it's just terrible. And then his body kind of slowly probably made its orbit back to the Earth and was completely incinerated upon re-entry. Like, there's no corpse to go find. But that process would take a little time, so I just kind of, my only out for them, for why you wouldn't switch roles here, is, does Nate need to breathe when he's, stilled up? Because if he does, there's no hope for this.
All right, well,
that's all.
Gradually give it to them then.
It's just a question, though, and I'd have to know the answer for that to really do anything. But I will give him this. Nate did a pretty good job with that scene.
He did. They both did.
Can I use that to transition into something else?
If you like.
I freaking hated Nate this episode. Yeah.
I'm sick of all of them trying to change the damn timeline. Like, what's going to happen.
Yeah. And he comes in with, like, you could change the time. She's trying to talk to him. You could change the timeline. It could change you. And you might not be there to, like, save us when we did this and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, that's conjecture. But my father's happiness, that's real. Nope, asshole. That's conjecture.
Uh-huh.
You have no reason to think that just because Daddy was around, he was going to be a good dad. And that therefore you were going to have a good dad. Also, if you sent him back, he was still going to be a member of the JSA. He might have gotten killed 2 weeks later.
Mm-hmm.
In some other bizarre incident.
Yeah.
3 months, he's killed by chemo in the South Pacific. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's maddening to me that even, I guess it's okay because Mick hangs the lantern on it while he's doing the intro. Like, we always seem to screw it up anyway. Like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, that always helps.
Okay, so...
But
yeah, that was annoying.
Nate, the whole episode, like, when he's talking to Vixen later, like, Vixen does the right thing, tells him about the aberrations. You knew that was going to come up when he's talking about his family anyway. She does the right thing, she explains the aberrations, and then there's this real go fuck yourself moment where I decided I may not like Nate maybe for the rest of the season. When he actually does, like, in his little tantrum, he goes so far as to tell her about the village that burns and, her granddaughter being foster care. Like, he sets that whole thing up. Like, at the end of the episode, she goes and looks it up. He can't undo that. It doesn't matter how they feel about each other by the end of the episode. And yeah, they fight. They came back. He apologized. You can't undo that, man. That bell's been rung.
Yeah. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a dick move.
It was a dick move.
And I also, like, it's like, there's no future for us, blah, blah, blah. Like, why? Who says that you didn't knock her up in the first place?
Yeah.
I don't...
Yeah. There's really nothing to say that. Well, same as, like, I meant to mention this on the Flash episode, but there's a lot of time stuff that doesn't make sense right now in all of these shows. Like, Jessie, like, runs off to Earth 3 because she didn't want to be part of Savitar's plan. How do we know that's not part of Savitar's plan?
Yeah.
It's just, right now the writers have themselves in some places over there where, like, on the Flash, they're going to get out of it soon. But over here, we're, like, constantly in the place of, like, well, we're going to change time, but we're not going to change time. But Nate's still going to go talk to young Hank and tell him to take it easy on his son. But that won't work out poorly. It's not like we're going to get a time aberration daughter out of that or something.
Right. I mean, I was okay with Jessie running off to Earth 3 because it feels very Oedipal to me. Not like she's about to go have sex with her father or something, but...
but to run off like that.
You know how, like, in Oedipus Rex, he finds out that he's supposed to kill his father and marry his mother. He runs away so that he won't do that, but he doesn't realize that he was adopted, essentially, and winds up killing his actual father and marrying his mother.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I like that sort of.
And then what?
Yeah,
doesn't he bang out his eyes with sticks or something after that?
Yeah, he gouges his own eyes out.
Which is fair. Which is fair.
The second play is him just wandering around in a desert, like, blind. I think. It's been a long time since I read those, but hey, Hollywood, you want a trilogy?
Yeah. Woo. Speaking of wandering around, well, I have 2 questions.
Uh-huh.
When did Ray get to watch The Martian?
I assume they have a movie nights. You know, they sat down and watched.
I guess they.
With Amaya.
I guess they can get current films though. That's not a big point.
I would assume they would get future films.
Maybe future films. That'd be great. Or terrible. Oof.
Maybe
that'd be. I might opt out of that. The real question: if they remove the flag, does the U.S. not own the moon anymore?
Do you have a flag?
We're the only one with a flag up there.
Old Eddie Izzard joke. I'm sorry. England, what is that you have behind your back? Oh, India and a number of small countries. Put them back. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
We got 2 million people here, man. You can't do that. Well, do you have a flag?
It's a great bit.
It is. It's phenomenal.
I don't know. I feel like we've hit a lot of this. By the way, did you have any? Maybe I just blanked out for a second. Did you have any idea why super speed didn't work in low gravity?
No, that's incorrect. That was wrong. No gravity, sure, but he was inside that capsule. He could have just used that as, for momentum. He could have totally run around the capsule. Now it probably wouldn't have helped him. Well,
I still think he could, do the arm thing he's so fond of.
Yeah,
there's no reason he couldn't.
It was that didn't work.
No, I just didn't. It didn't make sense to me.
All right. Here's the other part that I hated.
Does that mean though that if you dug a hole through a significant part of the Earth's core and got Barry onto or let's take Barry to Jupiter with a giant gravity, would he just get faster? Is it relative to the Earth's gravity that these people are proportionally sped? Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it didn't seem right to me at all.
Poor speedster.
I wrote it down as not a thing.
Small planet, so slow.
Yeah, it seemed off to me. But I was more preoccupied with this, and it sucks because it really did make for great character work for Eobard. But when he's talking about how he misses hanging out with scientists, this is pre-Flashpoint Eobard. This is before he even did that, so he doesn't have those memories. No,
he's still stuck in the time remnant. So he is still pre-Flashpoint, but he's still the pre-Flashpoint that was from the future. He's still the future scientist that came back, and then now he's stuck in the time remnant.
I'm pretty sure the way it worked is he doesn't remember actually, because the Eobard that hung out with Caitlin and Cisco as Wells, he's dead. He disintegrated.
No, this is the same. My understanding has been the whole time, someone correct us, because my understanding the whole time has been that exact Eobard that disintegrated ran instead, and that's why the Black Racer's after him.
No, I think it was a previous version of Eobard that showed up and then realized that something happened to destroy him, and and Barry went back and grabbed him, threw him in that gel at Flashpoint. I'm pretty sure he shouldn't have any memories of hanging out with Caitlin and Cisco and all that.
Well, the tangled webs we weave.
Whatever.
Not even sure anymore.
I'm sure they could find some way to make that work. I don't think so.
I'll break out some yarn and some push pins, and we'll get to work later.
All right.
See if I can match my deadbolt board. We covered it. Eobard, great. Nate sucked. Victor was weird. I think we're done here.
I loved Ray's I'm on the moon, I got the shard. And they're like, okay. He's like, that's all I get?
Yeah, they're like, copy. That's all I get?
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Actually, a little bit better than that even was he's doing his little his recording for posterity, and you just, in the background, Eobard, what are you doing?
Yeah, he was doing The Martian.
Yeah.
That's what he was doing. Ray's a fool.
A lovely fool.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to be coming right back with a review of Arrow 516 Checkmate. We are DC On Screen. You can find us DCOnscreen.com, DC On Screen, one word, on Instagram, on Twitter. We might be actually starting some kind of cool something or another on Instagram, so go follow us there if you're into the Instagram. Proud members of the Giant Size Team Up Network, GiantSizeTeamUp.com. And until the next review, guys, keep some DC on your screen.